At 16 and 17 years of age, I participated in 2 of the person-centered encounter groups that my mother, Natalie, Carl, and others facilitated, and later I took on a small administrative role. After college and into my postgraduate work, I joined Carl and Natalie on several 3-generational talks and panels. And when Natalie and I founded the Person-Centered Expressive Arts Therapy Institute in Santa Rosa, California, Carl would make guest appearances at our programs. He would engage in counseling demonstrations, Q&A sessions, and roundtable discussions with us. This is when I got to know him best as a professional and came to appreciate fully all he believed in and taught. It was a hands-on, privileged education. I've often been asked if he was really like the person in his films and books, keenly interested in others, open and empathic. And yes, he predominantly was. He had a great deal of compassion, empathy, and intelligence. He worked incredibly hard and was a prolific writer. He was constantly open to new ideas and challenges, and though not without his flaws, was a deeply caring and creative human being. Next year marks the 60th anniversary of On Becoming a Person, Carl Rogers' most widely read work on what makes for effective psychotherapy. It is a self-curated collection of essays and talks from 1951 to 1961 that his colleagues encouraged him to publish. To his surprise, it sold millions of copies to a broad spectrum of people and was an unprecedented success in the field of psychology at the time. One of his most influential ideas was that a set of core conditions, when felt and received by the client, would result in positive therapeutic change. These core conditions of unconditional positive regard, non-possessive warmth, accurate empathic understanding something from the client's perspective rather than your own, and congruence, authenticity of the therapist, have been challenged and tested in many subsequent research studies. And over they have proven to be consistently true and effective, no matter what other therapeutic techniques and theories are used. Rogers' promotion of a non-pathologizing and more egalitarian clinical relationship was a radical departure from the prevailing dynamic, as was his willingness to be recorded and critiqued during client sessions. He published complete cases of his work with clients, not simply synopses that highlighted his successes. He bravely laid bare the stumbles and searches for answers involved in all psychotherapy work with clients. He believed that transparency, along with clear scientific research, could only benefit progress in the field. His novel approach was met with much protest by mainstream psychologists of the time, who felt threatened by his challenges to the predominant paradigm and stripped of their authoritative professional masks. As Eugene Teen Gendelin, a student and colleague of Rogers, said, he cared about each person, but not about the institutions. He did not care about appearances, roles, class, credentials, or positions. He doubted every authority, including his own. Much has changed in our world in the ensuing 60 years, but Rogers' pioneering ideas from that time have become so well researched and embedded into most psychological schools of thought that they are ubiquitous, so taken for granted that many have forgotten where they came from, or that they were a radical departure from previous schools of thought. His work remains valid, relevant, and utilized. He changed the basic assumption of psychotherapy, and his ideas and work are profound in their reach. To this day, psychotherapists, counselors, organizations, research centers, educational and religious institutions, and governments continue to use his principles and develop his theories. I am gratified that this book continues to be available to professionals, to students, and to all those seeking to know themselves better and become more fully actualized human beings. I couldn't be prouder of my grandfather, teacher, and colleague, as a human being and as a brilliant but unpretentious psychologist. Francis Fuchs, PhD, Santa Rosa, California, April 2020. So that is the foreword, and Marta will be back with us tomorrow to start with To the Reader. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.